You may have noticed that the quality is a little bit better. That would be because I went camping over the weekend and utterly destroyed my camera lens. Look at the chip. So basically I was trying to film a vlog, and before I could react, the camera tipped over and landed on a rock, thus crushing the lens. I did, however, manage to get some shots of the campground, which was absolutely beautiful. But don't take my word for it. I absolutely love camping. I love roasting marshmallows and sitting by the fire and telling stories and fishing and swimming in the lake. That's right, baby. I'm here for full immersion. Now, throughout my childhood, my family has taken periodic trips up the mountain to rough it in the woods at a campground with running water and hot showers. Fact of the day, this is actually the second time I've been camping this year. The first time was great, but we had a rather traumatic experience, and I'm going to tell you about it. So this campground is surrounded by a lovely lake that is filled with different types of wildlife, but sometimes this wildlife can be dangerous. Like, I genuinely feared for my life. When we were camping, my friends Margaret, Kathleen, and I had the brilliant idea to try to swim from our camp spot to the swimming area, which was a longer distance than we anticipated. Now, this is innocent enough. It seems pretty feasible from where I'm sitting. But that was when disaster struck. Wait. You think that one of us drowned? No. Far worse. So as we were swimming, we made it to this log that had fallen into the lake and was perfect for sitting. So we climb up on it and are sitting there talking, and my friend Kathleen swan dives into the water. Now, initially, Margaret and I just thought that she had fallen off, so we were naturally laughing. That was when Margaret looked at me with absolute terror in her eyes. As I saw the fear in her eyes, she shouted, "There's a bee flying around your head." Now, I don't think you've ever experienced absolute terror if you've never had a bee flying around your head. These winged menaces are both necessary to our survival and the most deadly things I have ever encountered. So naturally, as soon as Margaret said that, I dove into the water, you know, get away from this freaking bee that wants to eat me. We then decided to leave our nice comfortable log and continue our journey. This is when our swim through hell began. Cue ominous music! Now Kathleen and I had lagged behind and we were talking about Sasquatch or something when we noticed that our friend Mr. B had followed us. Mr. B will henceforth be known as Winston. Now I look ahead and see that Winston has begun flying around Margaret's head in a perfect circle. I mean, presumably he's planning on gouging her eyes out and forcing her head under the water until she drowns. So Kathleen notices and tells Margaret to dive. Margaret obeys, but Winston is not giving up that easily. He flies back towards me and I just see him coming at me, a little black dot coming at me like a missile. He begins to fly around my head. I scream because I'm freaking out, so I dive into the water. It should be known that I have pinpointed this moment as the exact moment when I accepted my inevitable death. Now, I realize that drowning because of one little bee is a sucky way to go, but I had accepted it. I had accepted my fate. I was ready because I realized that even if I made it out of this alive, I would bear such emotional trauma that I could not function as a member of society. I resurface and see that the bee is now flying around Kathleen's head. She screams and dives under. He comes back after me. I scream and dive under. Then he goes after the only warm-blooded thing that he can find, which happens to be Margaret, who at this point has almost completely abandoned us. At this point, Winston was relentlessly circling us like a vulture, waiting for us to either give up or drown. The constant diving under and desperately trying to escape made my lungs ache for air, but I knew if I returned to the surface that I would surely die. But I had to. And then the vicious cycle repeated itself. This went on for about an eternity. That's when we decided that our best option was to head to shore and leg it out of there. Now, I gracefully pulled myself up onto the shore and we ran through the forest barefoot. It wasn't until we stopped that we realized that Winston had given up on us. I have developed two theories as to why he would just give up his pursuit. Number one, we swallowed too much lake water and this whole thing was an algae-fueled hallucination. Or, what I think is the more likely of the two, Winston was hiding something in the lake and we got too close. Winston, I'm on to you. You may think that just because you chased us away, that your secret is safe. You better watch your back, buddy. So at this point, we're in the woods with no idea where we are, barefoot, dripping wet in our swimsuits. So we did what any self-respecting hobbit would do. We wandered through the woods until we found our campsite. And that's the story of how 3 full-sized humans almost got killed by a single bee. Camping is fun.